Hi everybody, I'm going to show you a great app with a ton of different functions and features called Doceri. It's free, it's made by the same makers that made Shadow Puppet EDU. There will be a lot of things that will look familiar to you and your students if you've used it before. I love this app because you can use it to draw on your through a projector or smart board. So like if you're trying to walk around the room while you're drawing, your kids can use it to draw and explain, and so can you. You can do blended learning or video lessons for your kids. So when you first open it, there's a couple things you need to know. You'll just need to teach your kids always to tap this top button here, okay? Once it opens up, you'll see there's the plus button down there to create a new project. They'll have this sample project in there for you, okay? And then you have edit and some other buttons. The edit button, what that allows you to do is allows you to take something you've created and throw it in the trash or duplicate it right here or send it, okay? Or share it rather. So let's go ahead and try a new one so you can see some of the features here. This is another thing you'll need to teach your kids. It really doesn't matter which one they choose here, so there's nothing that will ruin anything. It just is basically the size of your screen you're using. So I'm going to hit, I usually just tell my kids to look for the word iPad and tap it. Okay, once you have Doceri open, this is your workspace. Up here we have folder, that means take me back to my projects. Record. This one here is backgrounds. You can do some different backgrounds. You can import a photo. So this is where you could do a page like a math page or something like that. Share. Then you have a bunch of different tools up here. We have redo and undo. So undo, if they make a mistake, they can go back. This wipe means wipe my entire board. Okay. Now, let's talk about first the different tools. So if you tap on them one time, it selects them. If you tap them twice, there's a lot of options, and the kids will figure out how these work really quickly. Size, spacing is kind of cool too. It makes it spaced out so that it appears like little dots almost. So really cool for, I don't know, maybe like handwriting or something like that. Opacity means can you see through it. So like for example, if I tap on my highlighter, okay, you can see the opacity is at 10%. That means that you can see through it. And you can highlight things. So this is really cool. You could have your kids go through and highlight words, things like that. Very cool. Then we have a snap line, which means that your kids can just, and it makes your lines for you. You can easily join them together to make shapes. And then there's built-in shapes right here. Okay? The eraser, pretty self-explanatory. And then the wipe basically just wipes your screen. One other thing they're going to find out is this has a wrist guard, which means if you pull this up, you can actually lay your wrist anywhere on here and draw up here. Or usually with an iPad, if you lay your wrist down, it thinks you're trying to draw. Okay, so let's do an example here. Let's say that I'm going to draw something for my kids. So I can draw it. All right. I could also record while I'm drawing. So let's try that. So when you hit the record button, it keeps all your recordings down here that you've done. There's also start recording. So let me hit start recording. And you can see it starts recording right away. Okay? Now it's recording my movements and my words at the same time. And there we go. When you're done, you have to teach your kids. They're going to have to tap it once. And then again, they can either pause or stop. So I'm going to stop my recording. Now, this is a part that confused my kids the first time this happened. Okay? You can see it saves all of your recordings, ones you've done before or new, any of them. So I tell them, if you messed up on a recording, what you're going to do is you hold your finger over it, drag it down to the trash can, and you'll see a little trash can pop up right there. See it? Now I can delete that recording. Now, here's a recording I just did. If I want to share that recording, I have two choices. I can drag it over to this bottom share button right here. And when I drop it, guess what's going to give me a choice of? That's right, it's going to say Seesaw, which is awesome. It shares it right to Seesaw. Or I can also tap on that. It will open it and start playing it for me so I can see what it looks like. And then I can share it from here into Seesaw. Either way works. Now I'm going to go back to my Doceri recordings. Here's an idea for you trying to save paper. So on this one here, I recorded it, which is great, but sometimes we don't need to record anything. So I'm going to go back here and hit the X, and I'm going to clear this board here. Let's pretend I wanted the kids to do a worksheet. This is very cool. So the worksheet, they take a picture of it, or you send them a picture of it, or however you want to manage that. Okay, so here's my worksheet right here. Here's the thing that makes Doceri so powerful. I'm going to go ahead and place my image. I use my fingers to pinch, to zoom, or rotate. Then I let it go. Now when I tap away from it, now it is set. It will not be moved again. What my kids can do that's different than in Seesaw is, if I want them to do this worksheet, this is too small, right? They can zoom in on certain parts of it. Well, now all of a sudden they can use their pen tool, circle the three-dimensional shapes, then go on to the next problem, right? Draw an X on the cube, circle the cylinder. When they finish their work, they can share it back with you. This is awesome. They click this share button. This share button is a little different. Before, I got to my sharing through recording, but I'm not recording anything this time, so I can just click right here. And then see it says share current image. That's what I'm going to choose. And then it's going to say, do you want your background with it or without? It really doesn't matter that much, but I don't need all this white space shared. So I'm going to say without background. And then it'll say, or rather you share it to Seesaw. Okay, so this is awesome in that you can basically give out worksheets with this, or have your kids record videos. It just gives you more options than Seesaw does by itself. So again, this app is called Doceri. You're going to need to explicitly teach this app to your kids. It takes a little bit of time for them, but once they get it, you think about the amount of paper you can save and the amount of options you have with it. I think it's well worth it.